My name is Mami Dufie. Welcome to another exciting episode of A Walk Down the Aisle. I have here with me two fine gentlemen, two super fine gentlemen. And today they are going to talk about videography and photography. And if you love photos like I do and want to see yourself all over social media, I have your solution. Stick with me. Hello, gentlemen. Mick Gilbert Asante from Lace Up Weddings and Kwame Pocho from Team Thousand Words. Welcome to my show.
Thank you.
It's such an honor to have you guys here. We're here to talk about videography and photography. So, we want to know, okay, Gilbert, what should you consider when you want to hire a videographer for a wedding?
There are several things to consider when you want to hire a videographer for a wedding. Prominent amongst them would be to consider their style, and most importantly, to consider the duration that they take to edit. Also, you would want to consider how well you can relate with such people. You need to meet with them. You need to meet with their crew. You need to actually have a conversation and know that you guys can really balance in terms of character and all that, because you don't want anybody to actually give you a bad day. Also, you would want to actually have a look at the full weddings. It's very, very important, because usually what you'd see online would be just highlights. And of course, everyone would want to put up a good highlight. But the problem that you have is sometimes when we explain to clients that your feature wedding is maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes or 45 minutes, they don't really understand it. And you actually send a final video to them, then they go like, where's the rest of my video? Do you understand? Yeah. So it's always important to actually even have a look at this full feature wedding before you actually get into booking them. Yeah. And with the style, there are several ways in which you can actually have a video to look like. Some videographers have a vintage style. Some have more of like a fun. They like to just capture very fun moments. Some like to capture like very elegant, exclusive. So you need to actually find someone that would work in the way that you want your wedding to be. So you have to have a vision first, and you have to look at the highlights and just look at them and try and see if this can work. That can work. Look about like around 3 or 4 vendors. Then you just set up a meeting and you strike things out.
Okay, how about you, Kwame? What should one consider?
So I will probably say that a lot of what Gilbert has said applies to also photography. Because ultimately I think we work in the same kind of professional space as far as deliverables are concerned for clients. One thing I would probably like to re-emphasize on is the attitude of the vendor, that is either the photographer or the videographer that you are going to be working with. It's something that you really have to investigate as a couple picking a vendor, because ultimately it has some impact on your wedding day, because you're going to be working intimately with these people. They are going to be there at your dress up, and they are going to be following you throughout the day. Of course, the goal is that they want to be the people who visualize the wedding for you and present a view of your wedding that you probably won't see. So it's really, really a good idea to see whether you sync with the kind of attitude they have, whether they would have the vision that you intend to have when they finally deliver your photos or your video. So probably that's what I would add to what Gilbert has already said.
Okay. So can you easily determine the quality of a videographer just by looking at samples of his work?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. I would say that would be about a 60 to a 70%. Yes. I mean, obviously, whatever that the person is putting up online was well shot on your day. It might be the selected best, okay, as usual. But that would only go to tell you that, I mean, this is the standard that you're looking at. There could be some, messy areas. That is why earlier I was stating that it's actually a good thing to see the full featured weddings, because that is really the only way that you can actually be confident in saying that this particular person should be the person to do my work. Because if you can't do that, then yeah, it's still a bit dicey. But then I can say about 70%. You should be 70% sure, just based on what you see online.
Okay, guys, we are going on a commercial break. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Hello?
Person where hustle supposed to chop, it's supposed to pop, it's supposed to chill. Person where walk supposed to dance, it's supposed to rock, it's supposed to flex. But don't you forget, yo, say no be by mighty, yo, always be thankful. Oluwana go de, rather no be crime, yo, to spend your money, but always be thankful. Makaifa di goma, oh, even if you no get yo, never forget to say bye, thank you. Oluwana go de, and if you to get yo, never forget to say bye, thank you. Chineke na go de.
Person wey drive is supposed to back. He no supposed to lag.
Yeah. And they drop.
This love,
Him at Yasuna Yanko.
never ever seen it quite like this love.
If you at Yasuna Yanko.
Try to understand this love,
What the woman come on.
but again and again I can't complain. Driving me insane, baby, oh yeah, baby, oh yeah. Oh, I never wanna let you go, but sometimes your love is so cold. Baby, I need you by my side, and I want you in my life forever and ever. That you do.
The things way I do.
And I'm loving it too, and it's making me want you more.
See, give me the things way I do.
Welcome back. We are still here at the Queen's Court Event Center, and today we are discussing photography and videography. Kwame, does makeup affect the quality of photography, wedding photography?
So, like, what I can say is this. Good makeup on the day makes my work easy. Bad makeup means a lot of post-processing work for me. So, for me, I would prefer great makeup on the day more than anything. And really, I think that the bride and her team does themselves very good service by choosing good makeup artists, because ultimately then we don't have to focus on trying to fix what was not done right. Rather, we focus on making the pictures even more beautiful. Yeah.
Okay. Gilbert, how about videography? Does it affect the quality of wedding videos?
Tremendously. You have no idea. It's like a videographer's worst nightmare. And unlike Kwame, he can sit with specific images and retouch their faces. You have video, and you can't do that. Maybe you can throw in a filter and all that, but that would be like degrading a lot of things and all that. So, like, if you get a really good makeup artist for your day, you're gonna have some amazing visuals. And yeah, basically that is it. I would really entreat anybody to like, and I think that's what ladies do. Obviously, they actually go with makeup artists before they even come to photography or video. I think that's like the bottom. We are like
That's the trend
bottom,
as well.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So with makeup, you have there's a trial session. Is
Yeah.
it like that with photography, Kwame?
Well, what we offer, again, depending on the package that the clients choose, is a pre-wedding shoot. The pre-wedding shoot actually is one of the moments a client can trial a photographer.
Okay.
Because it affords the opportunity of bonding.
Yeah.
And it affords the opportunity to, experience how the photographer works before the wedding. For us, we normally have it in our package so that you can have a pre-wedding shoot without committing to the actual wedding shoot. And so we normally recommend it, but it's not every couple that chooses it. The other thing is, well, you might pass through our studio. So Team Thousand Words, we have a studio, and typically that's when you meet, most of the team members. You get to interact with the team members, and that in itself is a way of, understanding how we work and understanding, our style and all that. So, I mean, those are the options we have as Team Thousand Words. But I wouldn't necessarily say that it's a general thing out there, except it's a recommended thing, and I would really recommend it.
Okay, Gilbert, is that something you do for the couple or anybody that comes to you before the actual wedding day?
Not exactly. We also have something that we call the love story.
Okay.
But usually we don't actually do that before the wedding. There have been times that we had opportunity to actually do that before the wedding. There are times that we've shot that during the wedding. And there have even been times that, because maybe the couple was so busy, their wedding was so tight scheduled that we actually had to shoot it after. But yeah, I think even just looking at the full weddings, like just as what I said, would be enough for you to actually determine if this videographer is good for you or not. I don't really think that maybe the love story or the pre-wedding video is even enough call for you to go like, oh, this is okay, because unless it's like a save the date, which would be maybe just as like a snippet video to just forward to your friends. You might even get that along with your full featured wedding. So it's really not something that you can use to draw the line that, oh, this guy actually can capture me well. Yeah, so that is it.
Okay, so Kwame, have you ever gotten to a point where, say, somebody came to you, a couple came to you and said that, why am I paying that much for just photos? Why? It's just photos on my wedding day. Have you had something like that? Have you had an encounter like that?
Well, obviously, yes. And it's a question you do get. But it's also an opportunity to educate the client.
Yeah, justify.
And what we do is, well, first of all, we tell the client that there are a lot of investments, or people make investment into their wedding. Now, there are things that you're going to spend on that you are never going to see again. Photography and videography, however, offers you an opportunity as a couple to gift yourself something out of your wedding. Because when the wedding is done, you have, let's say, your photo album and your video, and that
is the only proof.
Yes, it's a proof that it actually happened. And imagine when it's beautiful photos and a wonderful video. What a wonderful proof that this once in a lifetime event, or hopefully, actually happened. And so that's where we start the conversation from.
Wow.
And then we go on further to say that, why us? Because we really care about the fact that this means a lot to you. So unless it doesn't mean a lot to you, but if it does, then we recommend ourselves very highly.
Okay. So we are taking a break and we would be right back. Don't change the channel.
Kente, the richest hand-woven fabric in the world, was known to be a sole preserve of royalty. Over the years, and thanks to technology, the fabric has become much celebrated across all fiber of society, and nowadays, especially among the youth of marriage age. Aside its aesthetic and prestige value, Kente is a gift of wisdom from our elders. Every color and design of Kente has its meaning. Therefore, it is essential for a bride and groom to choose their Kente wisely, to merit and elicit a blessing from their audience at the ceremony, because they are actually wearing a proverb. We will be sharing with you some education tips to help you choose right in this special segment of the show called Kente Culture, from the renowned online vendor, Kente Queen. Today, I present to you Inchinchim, meaning life is not a straight path, or the intricacies of life. This zigzag design has become an essential part of many new Kente designs. It offers the bride an opportunity to play around with a rainbow of colors without putting off her audience. On its own, whether in a Drinasa or a Drinsu format, It creates an enchanting aura about the bride. That's what every young lady wants on her big day, right? So you there, next time you want to create a kente design for that special occasion, consider Nchin. You can never go wrong with it.
When they make you the one, me the more.
There's no one but you.
Nah, no one but me.
Many mommy who say me who wanna my feeling more.
The many mommy who na me who want I'm a feeling more. Oh my baby. My woman we trap ya. Oh yeah, my home fair. Give me engine I go down to ya. Oh yeah, some I will be sitting I won't come. Yeah, you best. Oh money what you going to? Oh my baby. My woman we trap ya. Yes. Empaso komodenti beme ni dofo na di obedi krabo no ba me fa me tin ko jakye mana se kwan ba ko pe kra me fa so odo no kai me wodo wodo na mato mu di aja me wo ho makoma ni.
Welcome back. We are still here at the Queen's Court Event Center and we are discussing photography and videography for weddings. Kwame, does location matter?
So, I mean, this question will probably need to be broken down. Let's start with, let's say, pre-wedding shoots.
Okay.
Pre-wedding shoots normally are themed, right? So the thing about location to go with a theme is, yes, so you would need to pick a location that generally works with a theme that you may have discussed with a client. When we come to our traditional weddings, typically that's going to happen at, the couple's or the bride's house or somewhere of. Sometimes you can't determine those, okay?
Yeah.
What we do as photographers is we work with what we are given. If the timing of the event gives opportunity for us to move to another greater location, we will explore that. But the good thing about, the art of photography is you can still create even in a space that doesn't look to have potential. So maybe for photography, not so much. But again, like I stated with makeup, a great location means that you would have less time thinking about how you can work with the location and more time thinking about, how you can creatively compose and shoot the couple. So, there are trade-offs. If you give me a great location, now I will have time to focus on the shoot itself rather than thinking about how I can, get rid of a background or shoot away from a background. Yeah. So that is what I would really ultimately say about location. Yeah.
Okay. Gilbert, how about you?
Yeah, it does. It does. It does for video. Yeah. Just even based on the fact that we send out a few questionnaires to our clients before the wedding, and we actually share some images of weddings that we've shot, and we ask them, how would you like your event to be? Or let's say if you just even have maybe certain images that you would want your event to look like, then they send it back to us. Then we ask them, where are you having your event? Then they tell us. Then we realize, okay, you want to have this kind of event, but you're having your wedding here. And it really doesn't match at all.
Okay.
You see some beautiful lighting setup, and you ask them where they're having their event, and the whole place is like, it's like a doomsday area actually. So yeah, it really does. We really like to actually explore these locations and advise our clients if we need to bring extra lighting, or if they need to let the decor person actually put in extra lighting. Sometimes I don't blame our clients because I mean they are not lighting experts. They just know this is what I want, but they don't know what goes into it. So then when you educate them that, okay, this is what it takes. If you really want this, this is what you should do. It actually helps a lot. So yeah.
All right. So Kwame, tell us your worst wedding experience.
That's interesting.
Whoa. Whoa. I mean, can I sign an non-disclosure agreement?
You don't have to.
Well, I can be general without, picking any specific instance. I think the weddings that don't come or leave a bad taste for me are the ones which have really poor planning. Because then everything won't work according to, plan, because there's no plan even. And then you have a lot of people being upset. And the worst ones are when the couple themselves are upset about something, and it affects my work because the bride is not smiling, the groom is not smiling, and you're having to work so hard to get, a photo that, later they will appreciate of themselves. So those can be very challenging. And as much as possible, we try to, be the comedy in that instance where, we try to play around, to get them to smile or something. But yeah, I find that when the weddings are not well planned, it can be very challenging.
Okay, Gilbert.
Yes.
Any worst experience, your worst wedding experience?
I'll also generalize that because obviously I can't just put my clients' situations out there like that. But then it's actually something that happens across most of the events that we shoot, and it's usually timing. Okay, and you have a bride get delayed like 2-3 hours, and most of the times it's really not the fault of the bride. It's usually the people around them, because I mean every bride would want to actually have everything done perfectly, but it could be one bridesmaid not ready, one bridesmaid going to look out for something, and just like you said, planning. If you have someone coordinating things around here and there, you can actually have these things sorted out. A very, very, very terrible situation to put your videographer in is very bad lighting, and it's quite amazing, but a lot of people really don't think through that. So even in our questionnaires that we send out, we actually try to educate them on that, and usually they go like, aren't you bringing lighting? Yes, I'll bring the lighting, but the lighting is just for your face. It's not for the whole place. It's not for the ambience. If you really want if you want to have all these purple lights and all these colored lights flying out, I am not going to provide that. So yes, we've gotten situations where we've gone to a place to shoot and the place is like totally dark. Not because maybe the lights are out, but yeah, the place is that dark, especially with beach weddings and weddings that are actually set outside. Let's just say sometimes they want to have like a sunset wedding, but things drag it out and it ends up like 5-6 thereabout. And yes, they don't make provisions for lighting and all that, so you end up having a very, 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 very terrible video. And yes, it will be 6 weeks after your wedding, and you wouldn't be thinking, oh, that is actually what happened, but you would see the video and go like, what's this? What's that? Yeah. So yeah, usually those are some of the challenges that we have. So we try as much as possible to actually educate our clients prior to that, let them know some of these things. We actually do that a lot. We sit them down and talk them through. We advocate on time, getting someone to really coordinate stuff around, and it's a win-win for us all.
Okay. Gilbert, any advice to viewers who are planning their wedding?
Okay, so I would really advise viewers who are planning their wedding to meet with your videographer. Meet with them. It's very essential. Meet with them, sit down, have a talk, get to bond with them before your day. Just like Kwame said, it's going to be an intimate session, so you really need to know that this person that you are getting on board is someone that you can relate to. And secondly, just sign a contract, because you don't want anybody crying after their wedding day. Just sign a contract, read a contract. If you want to get a lawyer to even look at the contract, look at it, make sure you guys are on the same page. If anything happens, you pick up that contract and go back to the videographer and just go like, hey, you said this and that and that. Why are you getting this and that and that? And things will be sorted out. I think, yeah, basically that should be a general advice that anybody can have.
Okay, Kwame.
Well, I often say that weddings are sort of the first joint project a couple will have, and how you work together as a couple to make the most of your budget is really a sign somewhat of how, you will be working together in your marriage. At least that's what I think. And so I think that what I have observed sometimes is that when it comes to videos and photos, it's as if the brides are the ones that are, more interested in it than the grooms. But if I were to put in a word, I'd say the grooms should also participate in this, searching the video guys and the photography guys. You should actually also participate in the shoot itself. I mean, don't be, what do you call it? Don't be too laid back, and don't be looking on and, like everything is about the bride. It's also about you. If you really do enjoy, the photography sessions, it will show in the photos, and ultimately you would be proud and happy you did. So, hey, if you're looking for videographers, photographers, there are lots of them. Take your time, based on your budget, make a decision, and hopefully it will be an amazing experience for you. All the best.
All right. Very much, Gilbert Asante from Lace Up Weddings and Kwame Pocho from Team 1000 Words. It's been a pleasure, and thank you for honoring our invitation. We have something for you as a token of appreciation.
I'm excited. Aren't you?
Very, very excited.
But you don't look excited, Kwame.
Yeah!
Okay, so this is for you.
Thank you.
Oh, wow.
And this is for you.
Thank you.
These packages are from Bondi Beads and Accessory. Special thanks to my makeup artist extraordinaire, Pretty Touch Makeup. Thank you for watching. See you same time next week on A Walk Down the Aisle. Peace out. Let's get interactive on our social media platforms. On Facebook at A Walk Down the Aisle GH. On Instagram at A Walk Down the Aisle. And on Twitter at AWDA Ghana. You can also send us your comments via the WhatsApp number on your screens. Send your pictures and videos to awalkdowntheaislegh@gmail.com.
Makoma bo me bang 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 me freo anase me nya uma unko na mi nkosu baby Enka Mr. Playboy dear Kebani send me who Obama makoma bo me bang 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 but this feeling is so different. What reason will I give my heart if I should let you go, baby? Cause I wanna know you. And the sweetie, me person me new ding, come walk into where I show me so sad, be seen there. Yeah, woman,